evening, everybody, and welcome to Take Two Radio. I'm Pam, your host, and tonight I have Sabina. Hello, Sabina.
Hello, everybody.
How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Well, I would hope so. I know you're super excited for tonight.
Yes, and not just tonight, in a few weeks as well, but we'll go into that later.
Yeah. Okay, then we'll welcome our guest on. Tonight our special guest is an actor and a singer, for some of those that don't know, and he is Eric-Martsolf. Hello, Eric.
Hello, everybody. How you doing, ladies?
We're doing good. We're super excited. Yep. Can you tell?
Yes, I can tell. But my first question is obviously, Sabina, what's in a couple of weeks? You got to tell me.
Oh, you want me to start in with that? I can do that.
Go ahead.
In just a few short weeks, you'll be attending the Day's charity event in Atlanta, Georgia. It's a fantastic event that you attended last year, and I met you last year. But this year, I'm going to be there as well. And I wanted to know what your favorite part of the fan events is.
Oh, my gosh. Aren't those things fun, though? Those things are so terrific.
Yes.
You know, and I sign up whenever I can to get my butt out there to those things because it's a party. But as far as my favorite part of it, would it be bad if I said the cocktail party?
I knew that was coming.
Well, you know, look, let's face it. I'm a dad now, and if I'll wave my own flag for a second, I'm a responsible dad. And kind of when you become a parent and when you have, close to 300 pages of dialogue to do a week, there's not much room for just acting a little crazy and irresponsibly. So those events are like my time to just be an absolute dodo bird, Yeah.
and
technical
being
term,
a parent
dodo.
of four
I mean
children,
that. I
can
took a lot of time in choosing dodo bird. I'm so glad you're.
Yes.
I'm so glad you're going to be coming. Atlanta is a fun one. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I live here, so it's perfect because you're coming right to my backyard.
Oh, you don't even have to. Oh, that's perfect.
We did that
just for you, you know.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
It's not fair to me, though. I'm in Chicago. You guys need to do some in Chicago. I'm tired of being left out, being stuck in the middle here.
Wait a second. Were we in Chicago recently or something?
When? Where?
I don't know. Honestly, my whole life is like a big blur. I start to get these cities. It could have been Peoria, Illinois. I don't know. Maybe it was Chicago. I don't know. It could have been Bali. It could have been Tokyo. I don't know.
Wherever it was, I obviously didn't see it because otherwise I would have been there.
Obviously. Well, you know what? We are actually, I heard a little bird told me that we might be planning like a book tour. Days of Our Lives is actually coming out with a new book.
Oh, yeah.
And Ken Corday Productions are behind it. And this book is really cool. And we're going to actually do a press tour for it. And we're going to be hitting a lot of the major cities and even not so major cities all around. So Chicago might be on that list. It's really a good place to go.
Oh, I'll keep watching. Do you post those things on your website?
I try to. You can find it anywhere. I mean, I think NBC is going to promote this book tour a lot, so it'll be hard to miss.
Okay, that sounds good to me. I'll be watching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so when I was
look at your
doing
iPad, it'll come up there sometime.
Yeah. When I was doing your background check, researching your history.
You should be clear on that.
I'm only kidding.
Oh, crap. This is going to be bad. I'm getting arrested over the phone.
I read that you modeled for over 50 designers and companies and businesses. Is that something that you wanted to do at that time, or was that just a way to make money?
Good question. I think a little bit of both. I was actually, I modeled. This is the craziest thing. I didn't go to New York or Paris or L.A. to model. Mm-hmm. I did most of my modeling out of Tennessee when I was working down in Dollywood.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and surprisingly, there's markets down there. And I did a Levi's campaign where I literally wore jeans for just the longest time. The pants models will know this. Pants campaigns are the worst because you have to stand there while the client just fiddles with your the break in your pants and like the cuff and everything. And so you have this stranger just basically,
groping you
while they're, on their knees down by your, And you think love scenes on soaps are tough. Try having a complete stranger just play with your pants for 7 hours. Shoot.
They're just measuring your inside leg, that's all.
Yeah, it's a little weird, but that was a good time in my life. I mean, I was a kid. I was a little kid just having fun and, writing to mom and dad saying, "Oh my God, I'm modeling," and now I'm singing with Dolly Parton. My parents must have thought I was nuts.
But I love Dolly Parton, and I actually went to Dollywood many moons ago, and that was pretty cool.
Did you? What years? I wonder if you saw me singing something somewhere.
Oh, I can't say the year.
But in 1912? Come on now.
Just many years ago. And we just kind of walked around a little bit because it was probably 1,000 degrees outside, and we didn't see any shows. So unfortunately, it was kind of like we were just in that area for, I think it was 4 hours when we were going on to Nashville.
Oh, okay. It's an interesting place. I tell you, I actually credit Dollywood, more particularly the folks that I worked with down there, for a lot of my career. They're the ones that pushed me out of Dollywood when I had the chance to come up to be the Pharaoh in the tour of the amazing Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. That was a big step out for me. I was very nervous about leaving Dollywood because I got really comfortable there, and I had my apartment there, and I was dating someone at the time. I really liked my little life down there in the South, but it was my friends that gathered around me one day. It was like a entertainment industry intervention where they said, I'm sorry, it's more like this. Eric, you are getting your butt out of here. You are going to take You are not going to say no. You deserve it to yourself to branch out and, expand your horizons. And they pushed me out the door onto that plane, and next thing I knew it, I was flying around the country, and, well, that led me to my wife, and that led me to L.A., and, heck, that led me to soapdom,
There you go. Now you owe them the rest of your life. But it's funny you bring that up about Joseph, because I was going to ask you if that's what prepared you by, singing and dancing at Dollywood, that prepared you for Joseph and the other plays you did.
Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely. I got the performance bug in junior high school, actually. I mean, trial by fire, man. My first musical role was Henry Higgins in My Fair Lady. Can you imagine an 8th grader playing Henry Higgins?
Oh.
A 65-year-old with a British accent. I know. I wish I would have known James Scott back in the day.
Right.
Help me out with that stuff. I was thrown into it, and like any other kid who's usually in the arts, they just catch the bug like a virus, and it's just something you have to do, and it makes you happy, and it brings life to you, and I pursued that and did it, and that's what kind of threw me into the theme parks and eventually the Dollywood, and yeah, absolutely.
Now, I've seen Joseph 5 times, and unfortunately none of the times were you in it, but I remember the Pharaoh very clearly, and I thought that was such an amazing part. Did you talk like Elvis when you did yours too?
Oh, I didn't talk like Elvis. I was Elvis, girl.
You were?
At least in my own mind I thought I was. No, obviously, yeah. It's an Elvis portrayal, so I had to get it down pretty well, and I think by the end of the 4 years I did it pretty well. It took me only 4 years.
Can you give us a line in an Elvis voice?
I'm sorry?
Can you give us a line in the Elvis voice? Can you still do it?
Well, I like to think that I could, but that Brady Black, he's one weird dude. I don't know. I gotta have a talk with him. Puts too much stuff under his nose.
That's wonderful. You did.
But I mean, I did. It was so over the top, though. It was crazy.
Yeah. I know. I love that play. I saw it the first time with my husband, and he took me for our anniversary. It's not something he wanted to see, but I wanted to go because Donny Osmond was in it.
Of course. You want to see Donny. You probably had a picture of him under your bed when you were a teenager, right?
I had it all plastered all over my walls, everywhere you could possibly imagine.
Of course you did. I get it.
I even got into a fight with my brother because he scribbled on them one day. So, but anyway.
Oh my God, that son of a bitch! Did you hurt him?
I tried. But
can I tell you a quick 10-second Joseph story?
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Okay, my favorite moment was it's the second act where the Pharaoh comes out. It's the beginning of the second act, so the curtain's about to open, and David Osmond, who's Donnie's nephew, he comes up to me. He's like, "Oh, by the way, Eric, just want to let you know, Priscilla Presley is sitting in the second row."
Whoa!
And we were in and it was true. And of course, they opened up, and I saw her, and I did my little shtick, and I'm so nervous, obviously, direct. And sure enough, I'm up in my dressing room at the end of the show, and the stage manager comes up and he's like, Eric, Priscilla would like to say hi and meet you. I'm like, oh, no, because it's a spoof. I mean, literally, the Pharaoh was a spoof on Elvis. Mm-hmm. So I walk down there, and I'm sweating bullets, and I see her, and she comes up to me, and she's like, that was really, really great. It was great. We enjoyed it so much. And she introduced me to the children that were with her and everything, and it was relief, but it was a very scary moment for me. I thought I was going to get accosted by, all this.
I don't think she would have done that. I think if she didn't like it, she probably didn't want to meet you.
Like I would have been running. Oh, good times.
That's a wonderful story. That's something that you can pass on down to your children and more.
I did, and if not to my kids, then I can pass it on to Blog Talk Radio.
Exactly. There you go. Do you miss the theater?
I miss the gratification of theater, and in that I mean I miss the applause. I miss the validation of putting your heart out there, and your sweat and your tears, and you get that immediate response.
Right.
In television, you don't. You get a bunch of guys in jean shorts and ball caps behind some cameras going, oh, God, when is this guy going to break up with this crazy vixen? But I'm not to say that everyone is not appreciative in our industry. Of course, we are supportive of each other, but the day-to-day grind of doing a soap, there's no time to congratulate and to say, hey, great, it's just there's a time element now more than ever, which doesn't lead itself to that kind of, hey, you did a great job today, way to go.
Yeah.
And I miss that. I miss that from audience members.
Well, if you could pick a play now to be in, what would you choose?
Oh, wow, that would be tough. It's the most ironic thing about it. Did you hear about the guy that played Brady Black before me, Kyle Lowder?
Uh-huh.
He's doing Stacey Jacks in Las Vegas for Rock of Ages.
Oh, you're kidding. Wow.
Yeah.
He's ripping it up. I saw him a couple months ago, and we got together, and apparently he's doing an awesome job. I haven't seen it yet because I had my kids with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I called him, and I said, dude, I'm going to bring my kids to your show. And there was this long silence, this pause. I'm like, Kyle, what's the problem? I said, dude, I'll pay for the tickets. No, Eric, it's not about that. Do you really think you should bring your kids to this show?
Yeah, I know.
I was like, let me check it. And I went online, and everything online was like, do not bring your kids to the Rock of Ages. It is pretty inappropriate, so. But that would be fun. I mean, because I've always shared a love for that genre and 80s music, and that would be just a big old party, so.
Yeah, I think you would be good in it. I saw the movie. It was really good. I loved it.
Yeah, it's
I
just
still haven't seen the movie.
It's a good time. It's a really good time.
It sounds amazing. I can't wait to see the movie. And definitely 80s is one of my favorite genres. And I was actually going to ask you what musicians and bands have influenced you